Edge Designations, CAIA Level 2, Revision and Exam Program, March 2024 exam. This is our introductory video. Just before we get going, let me introduce myself. My name is Russell Jude, and I head up the CAIA program on behalf of Edge Designations, a prep provider program, which also does CFA, FRM, CAIA, and FDP as well. The purpose of this particular video is twofold. Number one is to introduce you into what you can expect. Number one, from a CAIA point of view, from the CAIA Level 2 exam, what you can expect in an exam, what's coming up. Well, we don't know what's coming up, of course, but we do know a little bit about the structure of the exam, just to help you a little bit in terms of that, in terms of the dates, what you need, etc., etc. And number two is what can we at Edge, what products have we got available for you to assist you in getting you through the CAIA Level 2 exam. So first and foremost, let us talk about the CAIA component of it, CAIA Level 2, and let's have a look at what we can expect in the CAIA Level 2 exam. Okay, so first and foremost, okay, a little bit of a change in the CAIA Level 2 exam for what we saw in the CAIA Level 1 exam, okay, but that's part 2. The exam is broken down into 2 sections, a total of 4 hours. Section 1 is exactly what you saw in CAIA Level 1. It's 100 multiple choice questions, and you've got 2 hours to do those multiple choice questions. And again, let's have a quick look at the maths. Okay, there is 120 minutes, and you've got to do you've got to do 100 multiple choice questions. The 72 is coming now. That is 72 seconds per multiple choice question, and that's carbon copy what you saw in CAIA Level 1. Of course, we do have some CFA candidates coming along from the CFA Level 3 program, hopping straight into CAIA Level 2 as part of CAIA's association with CFA. So perhaps you would not have seen what we did in CAIA Level 1. This is your first intro into CAIA. So just keep in mind, okay, this is quicker than most of what the CFA guys have ever experienced in terms of timing, at least, because in CFA Level 1, we know you had approximately 90 seconds a multiple choice question. Now you have got 72 seconds a multiple choice question. And the question we always get asked from our candidates, is that quick? And the answer is yes, it's very quick. Okay, so you've got 100 multiple choice questions, you've got 2 hours, you get in that paper and you start working straight away, steadily, and you finish all 100 multiple choice questions. Okay, can it be done? Yes, of course it can be done, and it has to be done because we've got to get through this exam, of course. Okay, in terms of we'll often get asked as well, is there negative marking? No, there's not. So if you are battling to finish the paper, or you see you're not going to be able to finish on time, just guess. Okay, and as part of our exam program, we're going to show you some strategies over there, how to the best way to proceed in the event of running a shorter time. What's interesting though is that section number 2 of CAIA Level 2 exam is called the constructed response exam. It's also a 2-hour paper. Okay, and for those that are unfamiliar with constructed response, it's exactly that. It's not an essay, guys, but it's a constructed response. It's a specific response to a question that's asked. And what we find typically with a constructed response section, okay, just to let you know, there are going to be 3 questions. Okay, in the constructed response question, I'm going to show you where they come from in a second. Each one is worth 10% or 10 marks. That gives you your 30% over there. But what does constructed response do? So let's just say, for example, the first one will come from, I'm going to take you to the topics in a second, emerging topics. And there's 10 marks over there, or 10%. What they do is they're going to ask you probably about 4 or 5 little questions, an A, a B. Let's go for 5 altogether, A, a B, a C, a D, and an E, each one being worth 2 marks with your total then being 10 marks. There we go. So you can see it's not an essay, guys. They're asking you short questions, and they are expecting a constructed response to what has been asked. It's important to note that don't get stressed or nervous about this one. It's not essays. It's not detailed stuff like that. It really is a short answer to what's being asked. The challenge, of course, that people find with constructed response as opposed to multiple choice is the answer is not there for you. In multiple choice, the answer is there. We just don't happen to know what the answer is. And yes, you've got to try and go A, B, C, and perhaps sometimes even D. Constructed response, not so, and we've got to try and come up with a brand new answer for what then is being asked. Okay, having a brief look at both of the papers. Okay, section number 1, well, the first part, 100 multiple choice questions. What's interesting is that both papers, section 1, MCQ, and section 2, constructed response, are 2 hours, yet MCQ makes up 70% of the total and constructed response 30%. So if constructed response is an area that perhaps you're not as strong in, okay, good news at least though is that the majority of the marks will then come from multiple choice questions. Okay, and in a second I'm going to take you through the topic weights and where the particular questions are going to come from, making up the 70% for MCQ and the 30% then for constructed response. We've got 2 exam windows for CAIA Level 2. There's the March and the September window. The March window, we know the dates already. Those are 18th till the 29th of March. And of course, we know why there is an exam window, and that's of course because everything now is CBT, computer-based testing, and of course there's not enough computers for everybody to write on the same day, so they spread that time period out across about a 2-week period, and we call that the total exam window. And there we go for March. September has got also an exam window. We don't yet have the dates and times for those just yet. Okay. Looking at the topic weights, we have the first 2 topic weights, emerging topics and universal investment considerations. Just keep in mind for those that have perhaps been in the program before 2023, this topic 2, used to be called ethics, regulation and ESG. They've taken some of the ethics out, particularly what's called the asset manager code, and have replaced it with things like geopolitics and other topics like that. But essentially the regulation and ESG concepts are still there. Okay, those 2 topics are only going to be examined in the constructed response section. Okay, 10% for emerging topics and 10% for universal investment considerations. So when we talk about section 2 constructed response and 30% over there, 10 marks are going to be from universal investment considerations, 10 marks from emerging topics. There's a third question. Okay, the third question is also a 10 marker. We don't know where that's coming from. Okay, what we do know is that it's going to come from anywhere between models, institutional asset owners, topic 3, topic 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it's important to note, and this is a little bit of a wild card, I suppose, that we've got, is that we know where the first 2 constructed response questions are coming from of the 3. The third one could come from anywhere. Okay. When we move across to the multiple choice questions, what do we know? We know that no multiple choice questions are going to come from the first 2. Okay, emerging topics and universal investment considerations. We do know there will be anywhere between 8 to 12%, and if one averages that, that'll be 10% per topic for topic 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There is your 10% average allocation, giving you the 70% weighting for multiple choice questions and the 30% weighting in the exam then from constructed response questions. And that is the breakdown then between the various questions. Okay, we have a look over here, and just in terms of things like textbooks, okay, and chapters and things that we need to do for where all the material will be coming from. Okay, emerging topics is it's the readings that CAIA produces on an annual basis. and those are specific CAIA readings that are made available to us on the website. Okay, the balance of the material, topics 2 through to topic 9, that's the Wiley textbook, okay, which is available to all candidates. Okay, there are other various resources available as well. Okay, there are your website readings. There's your Wiley textbook. They've also got candidate handbooks and study guides that are very, very useful as well. Okay, important to remember that CAIA also releases a practice exam, okay, that they make available to candidates, those that were in CAIA Level 1 will remember that. CAIA Level 2, they do the same thing. It's a very, very valuable resource. It's one full exam. In other words, one exam that contains both components, the multiple choice questions as well as the constructed response, and it's a very good indication of what one can expect in the final exam. So it's a lovely resource which is available then on the CAIA website over the page. Just some other information about your exam. Okay, calculator policy hasn't changed. That's the Texas Instruments BA2 Plus, or the professional. No disrespect intended, of course, to the HP, because of course you can also use the HP 12C. That's also available. It's just that none of the prep providers teach on that particular calculator, so not many people advertise it too widely. Okay, same thing, CAIA Level 1 in your exam. For Level 2, the equations need to be learned. There's a very, very small list of equations that will be provided to you on the exam. Very few. When I say very few, it's probably 3 or 4 at most. Okay. Less than 30% of the questions in the final exam are calculation based. That then means, and this is key to our exam, guys, that then means that 70% of your exam is going to be based on, call it whatever you like, theory, qualitative type questions. Okay, now something to remember when we talk about these types of questions, it's important to remember that CAIA, okay, because such a large component of the exam is, let's call it theory, okay, a large component that they can ask those 70% theory type questions from anywhere, and they do ask it from anywhere. We often like to refer to those questions, some of them as being left tail questions, and the reason we call those left tail questions is they ask them from anywhere, and often they ask them from strange places. You might think that's not important, or that particular concept is less important. Be rest assured that it might well find its way into your exam. Don't leave anything out. Anything and everything will be asked, even things you think that are perhaps a little bit off the beaten track, or a little bit what we call left tail. Okay, we did your MCQs, which is the very first paper. Answers may be 3 or 4. In other words, A, B, C, or A, B, C, and D. CAIA tell us that if you want to pass this exam, okay, that if you get 70% on this exam, they tell you, okay, then you are guaranteed of a pass. The pass mark may be lower than 70, depending on what the overall candidates score on the exam. Of course, they do look at that as well. But if you get 70%, you can be guaranteed of a pass. Generally speaking, when will you get your results? Results are made available 6 weeks after the exam window closes. Okay, so it is a little bit of a wait. If I just take you back a page, let's look specifically for the March exam. The March exam ends on the 29th of March. If you take, that's when the exam window ends. If you add 6 weeks then onto that particular time period, okay, you're looking early May. Okay, and September as well. We generally look early November for the results then to come out. Good, some good news for those, of course, that pass this exam, which we're hoping everybody does. Once you're done, you can become a CAIA charter holder. What do you need to do? Pass both levels, but of course, if you are with us here in CAIA Level 2, you've passed Level 1 already. Okay, you need to hold a bachelor's degree or something equivalent to that. You need to abide by the candidate and member agreement. Okay, you also need to provide 2 professional references that you are have achieved all the necessary requirements and will be a valuable asset to CAIA. No reason why they should not accept you. Submit your and pay, of course, your annual membership fee to the CAIA Association. So as one can see, the key components then of getting to become a CAIA charter holder then of course would be to pass CAIA level 1 and CAIA level 2. Okay, hopefully by now you've got a good sense of what you can expect in your CAIA level 2 exam. Just to conclude this video and to have a look at what we at Edge can do for you in terms of getting you through this final exam. Important to note, guys, that we do have many other options as well. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those options because this video is dedicated specifically to getting you through the final exam. So I'm going to start with option number 3, which is our revision program. Our revision program is a lovely one to get you through the final exam because it contains about 15 to 16 hours of video taking you through the entire CAIA level 2 syllabus in summary version, so you get a quick look again at everything in the syllabus. It comes with a set of notes as well, revision notes as well, and you get 3 full practice exams with solution. When we say 3 full practice exams, each exam then is a 4-hour exam which comprises both MCQ as part 1 and part 2 will be the constructed response section. I'm always puts a bit of a smile on my face when candidates ask me, will the exams, our practice exams, do they come with solutions? Of course they do. Okay, it would be not of too much use to you guys if they didn't, so there we go. Okay, and that's our classic revision option. We've also got, you could just, if one was not interested perhaps in the revision notes and the videos and one just wanted practice exams, those same 3 exams, you would find them over there in option 6. Of course, guys, the 3 full exams here and the exams here are the same thing, so don't go purchase option 3 plus option 6. That will be duplication, of course. Okay, and as you can see over here via this little chart that we've got over here, we've got other options as well. If you're still looking for a complete set of notes, not just revision notes, we've got that available as part of option 1 and option 2. That's a complete set of notes covering all the material but in much greater detail, of course much greater detail than what you would find then in the revision section, option number 3. If you're just looking for a bit more question practice, that's option 4, just a question bank. And if you just wanted a complete set of notes, that then will be option number 5. Hopefully this video has given you a bit of a good look then at what you can expect then from number 1, from the CAIA point of view for your CAIA level 2 exam, as well as what we at Edge can do for you in terms of the exam itself and exam prep. At this point, we're going to wish everybody the most amount of success. We never wish people luck, because if you've studied hard and prepped well, you don't need luck. You need a little bit of luck that everything should go your way on the exam. But we wish you the most amount of success in your CAIA Level 2 exam and hopefully to become a CAIA charter holder.